My name is Amanda Newland Davis, and I run Oklahoma Cold Cases along with my partner Jen. At Oklahoma Cold Cases, we try to shine light on the cases of the missing, murdered, and unidentified that otherwise don't get much media attention. For the last 4 years, we've existed solely on Facebook, sharing the posts of the missing, murdered, and unidentified of Oklahoma. But this past year, we've branched out and started a database in which we list all of the names of every cold case that is in Oklahoma that we are currently aware of. You can find us at oklahomacoldcases.org. I would also like to take a minute to let you know about our podcast, which is called The Throwaways. It is about the Lawton serial killer, which is a series of unsolved killings considered to be by the same killer, which took place roughly between 1999 and 2003 in Lawton, Oklahoma. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to 20 Minute Missing and Murdered, where we share a true crime in under 20 minutes. In these segments, we will be sharing information on missing people and cold cases. This podcast contains explicit content, so listener discretion is advised. The opinions expressed on this podcast are solely the views of the hosts and do not reflect the views of affiliates, associates, or sponsors of this podcast. And now, here's your siren, Raven Rollins.
June 23, 2005, Wagner, Oklahoma. A Talina police dispatcher pulled over to see why some passerby had stopped at a pull-off at the State Highway 1 and State Highway 82 junction. That's when he saw the badly decomposed body of his 25-year-old stepdaughter, Michelle Thomas. The body lay about 10 yards from the road. Thomas was a licensed practical nurse at the Talina nursing home. She loved hunting, four-wheeling, the outdoors, and shortly before she died, she enlisted the help of her brother to lay tile in a new home she had just rented. Her move had followed a breakup with her boyfriend, who was questioned by the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, but was not considered a suspect. The OSBI did work the case, but they also stated that there was no certainty that a crime was actually committed. They had little to work with in determining her death. 2 days of summer heat and exposure left her body in very poor condition. The state medical examiner ruled the cause of death as unknown. OSBI spokeswoman Jessica Brown said, "We don't know if this was accidental, we don't know if it was a homicide, we just don't know. And we'd like to find out, at least for the family's sake." Decomposition, she said, masks a lot of clues, but toxicology tests showed no drugs or alcohol in her system, and she didn't appear to have been raped. "We found no smoking gun, so to speak," she said. Thomas was last seen about 4:30 a.m. June 22, 2005, walking in downtown Talina, Oklahoma. She had left her grandmother's home about 2 a.m. Her car was parked outside, and Thomas's brother assumed she'd simply taken it and driven home, but she never did. By the next day, Wagner and a police officer became concerned and checked her home. It was locked. Nothing was out of place. That's when they also learned her car was still at her grandmother's home. Wagner, who discovered his niece's body, said he first thought that she might have been hit by a car, but was told by the medical examiner that she had no broken bones or obvious trauma. And something rather odd that he wondered about. She normally had long blonde hair, but when she was found, her hair was short and black. He said, "On a daily basis, I wonder, how long did she suffer? Did she suffer? She just didn't walk out there and die. Something had to happen." From the Justice for Michelle Thomas Facebook page. June 23rd, 2021. Today marks 16 years that Michelle was found on the side of the road just outside of Talina, Oklahoma. Such a beautiful life cut short at only 25 years old. She was an LPN who loved her job at the local nursing home. She was a fun, vibrant, talented woman with her entire life ahead of her. Life has somehow continued to go on without her, though. With such a tragic loss, you feel as if the entire world would stop. It is hard to even post, thinking about all the things we have missed out on experiencing with our Belle, her nickname. Please pray we one day have answers as to what happened to Michelle. To this day, her death still remains a mystery. Anyone with information about Michelle Thomas's death can contact the OSVI at 1-800-522-8017. And remember, you can always share your information anonymously on their website.
Thanks for listening to this episode of 20 Minute Missing and Murdered. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Join us next time on the Sirens Podcast.
Do we have an outro? That's our outro, isn't it?